Welcome back to Explain the Charts. Today, September 25th, 2025, we're focusing our attention on tech giant Microsoft, ticker symbol Microsoft. The market is buzzing with a mix of exciting news and underlying concerns that are visibly impacting its stock performance. As of this morning, Microsoft is trading around $506.88, showing a slight dip of 0.64% in early trading hours. This recent price action aligns with a broader narrative of Microsoft being in a rut since its fiscal Q4 2025 earnings report back in July, despite what analysts called a strong performance. The core issue creating investor uncertainty revolves around two main points: potential competition for its Azure cloud services and sector rotation. Specifically, there are whispers and reports, such as the rumored $300 billion cloud deal between OpenAI and Oracle, suggesting OpenAI might be diversifying its cloud computing operations away from Microsoft Azure. Such a move would naturally raise questions about Azure's long-term growth trajectory, despite its impressive 39% growth last quarter, as highlighted by analysts at Morningstar. Another factor contributing to the unexplainable underperformance is a perceived sector rotation, with investors shifting capital from software stocks, where Microsoft is a behemoth, towards the semiconductor sector. However, it's not all bearish sentiment. Microsoft has also been leaping forward, with significant positive developments. Recent announcements include an extended partnership with OpenAI, reinforcing its leadership in AI technologies like ChatGPT and Azure, as reported by Investing Snacks. The company also scored regulatory wins by resolving long-standing antitrust disputes with the European Commission concerning Microsoft Teams, easing a considerable headwind. Furthermore, Microsoft is strategically integrating Anthropic AI models to reduce its dependence on OpenAI, a smart move for diversification and enhancing its position in AI and e-commerce, showing a 25% increase in add-to-cart rates through AI integration. Now, let's turn our attention to the charts to see how these fundamental narratives are reflected in price action, starting with the broader daily view. Looking at the daily chart for Microsoft, we can observe the long-term trend from May 2024 to the present day. The stock has generally been in an uptrend, but with notable periods of volatility and significant pullbacks. A critical point in this chart is the period around July 31st, 2025, when Microsoft reported its fiscal Q4 2025 earnings. Here, focusing on this specific range, we see a massive gap-up candle on July 31st, taking the stock to its 52-week high and all-time high of $555.45. This perfectly corroborates the news reports of the stock hitting an all-time high on earnings day, demonstrating strong investor confidence immediately post-earnings. However, as the news also stated, a rut followed. Notice the subsequent daily candles showing a clear pullback from this peak, moving down into the 520s by early August. This immediate reversal from the all-time high signifies strong resistance at that $555.45 level, and the subsequent selling pressure initiated the post-earnings consolidation phase. Expanding our view of the daily chart, we can see how this pullback continued, with Microsoft trending downwards and consolidating around the $500 to $510 range throughout August and into September. A significant bullish signal emerged on September 19th, where the stock showed a strong upward move, closing at $517.93. This surge correlates directly with the news of Microsoft's AI and regulatory wins, which reportedly drove investor confidence and helped the stock reclaim its 100-hour moving average. This level around $518, a previous swing high, is now a crucial resistance level to watch, as mentioned in our news summary from Investing Snacks. Failure to sustain above this level, however, has led to another slight retreat, bringing us to the most recent daily closing price of $510.15 on September 24th. Switching to the 1-hour chart provides a more granular look at the short-term price movements and volatility. Here, we can clearly see the significant drop around September 5th, where the price fell from around $508 to a low of $492.37. establishing a strong short-term support level in the $492 to $495 range. Following this, the stock entered a period of consolidation, oscillating between $497 and $502, indicating a struggle for direction in the immediate short term. A notable bullish move occurred on September 11th, between 2100 hours and 2200 hours Universal Time Coordinated, with a candle surging from 501.01 to a high of $514.75. This strong hourly rally, likely driven by positive AI sentiment, showed renewed buying interest, pushing the price significantly higher on considerable volume. However, this momentum was short-lived, with the price retreating back towards the $508 to $510 area in subsequent hours and days. The overall hourly trend suggests that while there are bursts of bullish activity, persistent selling pressure keeps the price anchored below recent highs, struggling to establish a sustained upward trajectory. Now, let's zoom into the 15-minute chart for an ultra-short-term perspective, covering the last few days up to the close on September 24th. This chart confirms the gradual decline from the September 19th high, showing consistent lower highs and lower lows. The price consolidated around the $509 to $510 range at the close of trading on September 24th. However, based on our Google search data for today, September 25th, Microsoft opened significantly lower around 508.30 and is currently trading at 506.88. This indicates a clear gap down and continued bearish sentiment into the current trading session, likely influenced by the ongoing concerns about OpenAI and Oracle, or perhaps general market weakness. The current resistance for intraday trading would be around the $510 mark, which was yesterday's closing price. Immediate support would need to be reevaluated as today's price action unfolds, but the $505 level, which marked today's low, is an important initial point to watch. To recap, several key price levels demand our attention for Microsoft. The all-time high of $555.45 reached on July 31st acts as a major long-term resistance. In the short to medium term, the $518.29 level is a critical resistance, serving as a previous swing high and the 200-hour moving average that the stock is currently testing. On the downside, the $492 to $495 range has proven to be an important support level in early September, and a break below this could signal further bearish momentum. Looking at potential scenarios, a sustained bullish reversal, capable of pushing Microsoft back towards its all-time highs, would likely require a decisive break and hold above the $518.29 mark. This scenario is reinforced by continued strong news regarding AI advancements, successful diversification of cloud partnerships beyond OpenAI, and an overall shift in investor sentiment back towards the software sector and Magnificent Seven stocks. The likelihood of such a move in the short term, given today's slight dip, appears moderate, perhaps 40 to 50%, but improving if positive catalysts align. Conversely, a bearish outlook would see Microsoft breaking below its $492 to $495 support. This could be triggered by confirmed negative developments in the OpenAI Oracle situation, further sector rotation away from software, or disappointing future guidance. A significant breach here could lead to a retest of the lower $420 to $430 levels seen earlier in the year, and potentially even the 52-week low of $344.79, especially if major negative news emerges. The probability of further downside in the short term, given the post-earnings rut and current uncertainty, is also moderate, around 40 to 50%, particularly if volume increases on downward moves. For traders, closely monitor volume on breakouts or breakdowns from these key levels. High volume confirms the strength of the move. Stay informed on the news flow, particularly any concrete updates on OpenAI's cloud strategy and Microsoft's AI integration efforts, as these will be primary drivers. Also, keep an eye on broader market sentiment for tech and AI stocks and how Microsoft performs relative to the S&P 500, as sector-wide shifts can significantly influence its trajectory. Thank you for watching Explain the Charts, and happy trading!